Hey, what's up guys? Adam from Lazy Guy DIY, and we are back again with another project from the Home Depot rental. And what we're gonna do today is, if you remember, I built this lean-to here, this attachment to my shop a little while ago. Didn't extend it all the way out to the end here because I'm gonna put something right here behind me. If I don't build something, put it right here behind me, I start stacking stuff in all the corners like I have right here, and my wife is rolling her eyes because she knows that I do this all around the house. What we're gonna be building today is a potting bench. It's gonna be super simple. We're gonna use tools that you can pick up from your Home Depot rental, very basic tools, and it should be an easy build. So thanks again to our friends from the Home Depot rental for sponsoring this, and let's get started on this build.
All right, to kick this off, we're using all pressure treated lumber here. These are just 2x4s, and we're also using 1x6s as well. They're decking planks. So I'm measuring out here, and I'm going to cut some dados. So I'm just marking everything up, and I'm going to talk about dados here in a second. But first off, let's open up this saw here. It's a 36-volt circular saw, and I'm going to make a quick cut here. And what I love about this is with two batteries, you have plenty of power to cut pretty much anything, and it's great for pressure treated. So back to the dados here. We're going to mark it up. I'm going to do the width of a 2x4 here. I'm going to mark it on both sides, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to set the blade depth. I'm going to do a quick blade swap here, so one's a little bit sharper. And I'm going to do a depth cut that's just about, I don't know, about 1/4 of an inch or so, or 1/2 inch. I'm going to do a bunch of little cuts here, and you'll see they'll add up, and then we're just going to knock these out and flatten it down. So you can just use a hammer, you can use a chisel, you can use whatever else here, but you clean it up so it's nice and flat. Make sure you cut everything all the way through, and then when you're done here, you should be able to fit everything in here for just a little lap joint, and it makes a little more strength. So I'm going to show you also, if you have a miter saw, especially a slider, you need a little spacer here, but you can do the exact same thing. It's very quick. So if you have that instead of a circular saw, just go ahead and use your sliding miter instead. Just as easy, a little more control, but less setup, quicker to clean up, and I think it's a little bit cleaner, but I've done a ton of these with circular saws, and it all works the same. So see, cleanup's a little easier there, and it'll fit right in. So whatever you got, but this was a simple tool setup. So next we're gonna grab our drill here. You can use a hammer drill or regular drill, but whenever you're using a Craig jig, make sure you are not using an impact driver, because the impact motion will actually mess up the collet on the drill bit here. So so we're putting our cross supports in, and we're going to clamp it up here, and these are going to be the legs. You can see our dado cuts down there. So on the bottom, I didn't do it on the top here because this is just going to assemble the frame. So just regular pocket holes, everything's going together pretty easy. Using the impact driver now from Home Depot rental as well, which is always great to use when driving into pressure treated wood. Using a little bit of Tight Bond 3 here, which is an exterior wood glue. So I'm going to clamp things up, and I pre-drilled everything, so don't just go driving in with the impact driver. So if you don't see me pre-drilling, I did. Everything's absolutely pre-drilled because we don't want anything to split here. So just driving everything in with the impact driver, making a few more cuts here, and these are the 1x6s that we're going to be using, and these are going to be the frame. So I'll have the full set of plans on my website as well, on Lazy Guy DIY, but this just gives you an idea exactly how easy this build is, and you can just grab your tools, rent them for a weekend, and then you're good to go if you don't have them with you. So these cross braces are going in now. These are going in the middle, and these are specifically for holding the pan that you can put your dirt in, and I'll show you that in a little bit. I just ordered the pan offline and dropped it right in there. So space everything is 16 inches there, and then I've set these on top. These are going to be my top planks. I'm just going to put the two outside in on first, and then we're going to delay putting the middle ones on here for a little bit, because when I ordered my pan, it did not come right away, so we size it off later. So I put my end caps on here, and you can use wood glue if you want to. You don't have to, but I'm just using exterior screws and driving with the impact again pre-drilling everything because we don't want anything to split. Same thing here with the 1x6s. I'm putting them on the bottom, cut them to the length. I did a spacer of the width. I didn't make anything tight on here because with pressure treated wood, you really don't want it to expand and warp and everything else. Now what we're going to be doing is using these wall control panels, and I'm setting the saw blade, again, the depth for dados one more time, and I'm making sure that these are going to inset, so my panels will be sitting at the front of the 2x4s, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. But I did a ton of dados. I set up a couple stops here with just some speed squares clamped in place. That way I know I couldn't go any farther, and just ran my cuts again and again and again. You saw this happen earlier, but the more you do it, the better you get. And as I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you cut all the way through and keep the saw flat. That way you don't have little curve ups where the blade doesn't go all the way, because the curvature of the blade, you won't actually cut all the way through. But it makes the cleanup so much easier when you do a straight cut and just push all the way through. So we're going to clean this up here real quick, and we're going to make sure everything fits, and we should be good to go. I did 4 of these, as you see. I cut everything to length here, and these are where my wall control panels are going to go. What's nice is that the wall control panels will hold up outside because they're powder coated. It's pretty much the same paint they use on ATVs, so they'll hold up forever. And the great thing is that I can use normal pegboard accessories or the ones from wall control as well. So I'm just assembling the frame here, and I'll flip it over, and you'll see me pop these back in here. So these are the fun size panels, and they come in a bunch of different colors. I think of a dozen different colors, but they're 12 by 16. So I mounted everything so it would be hitting 16 inches on center. I'm pre-drilling, and they come with their own mounting hardware as well. So I'm adding those as well. So I use these all over. I did it on my project with the shed outside, and I have them all over my shop too. So all different colors, all different shapes and sizes. It's a great addition to pretty much any project. So there's my topper there, and you see, and I'm pre-drilling the back here, and then what I'll do is I'll pop it up here, and then we'll screw it in the back, and we'll make sure everything attaches snugly, and make sure it doesn't fall out. I threw some clamps on here, that way it didn't fall over on me when I'm doing it. Carried it over, it wasn't too heavy, so you see it's starting to come to form and shape here, so it looks pretty good. Now we got it into place. There's my pan that finally arrived. So it fits in there perfectly. Who knew it was going to? It was kind of a luck of the draw. And I cut some more boards here, pre-drilled, and put them in. I just left spacers also if I need to have any dirt or anything fall through, especially with all the leaves and stuff we get. But here we go with the wall control. You see the accessories going on. You can do shelves, you can do hooks, you can do all types of things like the U-brackets there. And those can hold a little bit of everything. So just some gardening supplies, so I'm not just throwing them in the yard like I normally do and hit them with a lawnmower. So here we go. Here's our final review. And we have our mums that look great because we are finished this in the fall. But I'm pretty excited how this turned out here. We got storage on the bottom and the pan here as well. If our dirt falls through, we'll be able to clean it up and pop it out. But our tools are up here, ready to go. And if I need to add anything else, we can just move it around. So as I mentioned, there's some holes there, so we have drainage. So we're not getting mosquitoes and everything, but that's it.
All right, that's a wrap on the potter's bench here. Very, very simple build. You only need 3 tools for it. Pretty much you can even do just 2 tools, but I got a circular saw, an impact driver, and a drill from my friends from the Home Depot rental. So thanks again to you guys for providing that. But all in all, very simple build, something you can do just on a weekend, low cost, and the wall control pegboards are just an add-on. I love them because I can rearrange. They're all weather. They can stay outside. I don't have to worry about them rusting or anything else because they're stainless steel and they're powder coated. It's the same stuff that they use on ATVs. So very easy, very simple build. Customize it. It's going to stand up here forever. I had the space just piling up stuff, and now I actually have a planting bench in it. So we're in fall. The leaves are falling. You may be able to see them on here. So that's why we're putting mums out this time. We're going to repot those and put them out front of our house. So thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel up here, and maybe check out a video down there below that's going to pop up and block up this whole thing over here. But hope you enjoyed this potter's bench build, and we'll catch you in the next video.